Today we're going to be crocheting this 20-inch throw pillow using scrap yarn. And for this project, I'm going to be using a ton of different colors of scrap yarn that I've saved up from previous projects. And it doesn't matter if the yarn is the same size, brand, weight, or type, but keep in mind that any bulky yarns will stand out more than the other yarn. I'm also going to be using a size N or 15 or 10 millimeter crochet hook. And you're also going to want to grab a 20 by 20 inch throw pillow insert. So for this project, we're going to be working with 3 strands of yarn at a time. So I usually try to combine like colors and then filter in my next set of colors as I crochet. And I will show you how to add in new yarn as you crochet as soon as I run out of my first color. And so working with all 3 strands like they are one, we're going to begin by attaching the yarn to our crochet hook using a slip knot. And we're going to chain 39. And once you have your 39 chains in place, then we're going to turn our work and we're going to skip our very first chain and diving into the back loop only of our second chain from our crochet hook, we're going to place a single crochet. Then we're just going to place 1 single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch in our row. And when we get done, we should have a total of 38 single crochets. And at the end of your row, I want you to turn your work toward your starting tail. And what we're going to do is place 1 single crochet in each of our front loops only from our chain row. So this is going to create an oval pattern, and at the end of your row you should have a total of 76 single crochets in the round. And as you can see here, I just ran out of one of my colors of yarn. So to add in more yarn, all you're going to do is grab your new strand of yarn and line it up with the other 2 strands of yarn that you're currently working with, just like this. And then you're just going to start working with your new strand of yarn. And I usually tie my 2 tails together and then plan on working over them in my next row. So from here, you're just going to pick up your pattern where you left off. And at the end of your row, you should have 76 single crochets. And if you're missing or have an additional stitch, this is the row to make that correction. So you can adjust that right here by either working in an additional loop or removing your last stitch. But once you have your 76 single crochets, then you're going to slip stitch into the top of your first single crochet. From here, we're going to chain 2 and we're going to place 1 double crochet in the back loop only of each stitch in our row. So when you get done, you should have a total of 76 double crochets in the round. And at the end of your row, your pattern should look something like this. So we're going to join by skipping our chain 2 and placing a slip stitch in the top of our first double crochet. And for this next row, we're going to be working in the top portion of our double crochet stitches, as well as these front loops only that were left over from the previous row. So the first thing we want to do is locate our current front loop, and this is directly below the stitch where we placed our slip stitch, so right here. And working in the following front loop only, we're going to place a triple crochet. So to do that, you're just going to yarn over twice and then insert your crochet hook in that front loop. And then yarn over and pull up through the loop. And then you're just going to yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until you complete the stitch. And then working back up in the top portion of our stitches, we're going to place 1 single crochet in our next 3 stitches. And this part does not have to be exact. I usually just try to sort of center around the front loop that I'm working in. But this first set's a little bit weird. Once you've placed your 3 single crochets, we're going to place a triple crochet back in that same front loop where we've already worked. So right here. We're going to leave 2 loops on our crochet hook. So go ahead and work the stitch like normal. And when you have 2 loops remaining on your crochet hook, you're going to skip 3 of your front loops right here. Then you're going to yarn over and insert your crochet hook in that 4th front loop. Then you're just going to yarn over and pull up through the loop, and then yarn over and drop 2 loops, and then yarn over and drop 3 loops. So now you've created this sort of V pattern with your triple crochets. From here, we're going to place 1 single crochet in each of our next 3 stitches up here on the top row. And again, this does not need to be exact. You can just sort of eyeball it, but you want to try to get 3 single crochets in this top row. So now we're just going to sort of repeat that process. So we're going to begin by yarning over twice and then working back in that front loop that we just finished working. We're going to insert our crochet hook. And we're going to yarn over and pull up through. Then we're going to yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until we have 2 loops remaining on our crochet hook. Then we're going to skip 3 front loops, and working in that 4th front loop, we're going to yarn over and then insert our crochet hook. Yarn over, pull up through the loop, and then yarn over and drop 2 loops, and then yarn over and drop your 3 loops. And again, we're just going to sort of eyeball it, placing 1 single crochet in these 3 stitches in the top portion of our row. As long as you're getting your 3 single crochets, it should work out fine. So now you've created 2 sort of humps like this. So from here, we're just going to repeat that pattern going all the way around our row. So I'll show you it one more time. We're going to begin by yarning over twice and then inserting our crochet hook in this front loop where we've already worked. We're going to yarn over and pull up through the loop, then yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until we have 2 loops remaining on our crochet hook. From here, we're going to skip 3 front loops, and in our 4th front loop, we're going to yarn over and insert our crochet hook. Then we're going to yarn over and drop the front loop, then yarn over and drop 2 loops, and then yarn over and drop our last 3 loops. Then working back up in the top portion of our row, we're going to place our 3 single crochets. And again, you just want to eyeball it. It does not need to be exact for the pattern to look okay. And so from here, you're just going to repeat that going all the way around your row. And when you get done, you should have 19 of these humps. And I'll show you what to do when you get to the very end to join. And at the end of your row, when you have your 3 front loops remaining, what you're going to do is yarn over twice and then insert your crochet hook in that last front loop where you just got done working. And you're going to work the stitch like normal until you have 2 loops remaining on your crochet hook. From here, you're going to yarn over once, and then you're going to insert your crochet hook right here up underneath the stem of your first triple crochet, like this. And you're going to yarn over and drop all the loops on your crochet hook for a slip stitch. And from here, turn your pattern up so that you can see the very top of your first triple crochet, and you're going to place a slip stitch there. So this is in the top portion of your stitch. And for part 2 of our crochet throw pillow slip cover, please check the links in the description.